I'm Kandas Rodarte. This is Gratitude Geek, the podcast for Gen X women solopreneurs weaving appreciation and gratitude into your business strategy. If you are a frequent listener, you know that I have been dealing with health issues for the last month, and I am finally feeling better. I still feel like I have a little bit of bronchitis in my lungs, but for the most part, I am 99.9% better. I'm almost back to normal. I do not wish this version of COVID on anybody. If you haven't been following along, I had COVID and it turned into pneumonia, and then it lingered for several weeks as bronchitis. I've been coughing and hacking for basically the entire month of June. My whole life was on hold, but I am back, raring and ready to go. Something that I have been planning for a long time now is doing something different on this show. And already you're looking at me going, hey, where's your guest today? I do not have a guest today because I wanted to give you an update on where the show is going to go for the next 12 weeks. And it's going to be very different than where the show has been for the last 330 episodes. This is episode 331, I believe. So 330 episodes of interviews with a couple of panel discussions and a couple of solo episodes thrown in there. But for the most part, I have provided 330 interviews with solopreneurs, business owners, coaches, authors, where we talked about strategy. And we talked about marketing, and we talked about their business story, and we talked about how they use gratitude in their business. And those conversations are wonderful. But after 333 conversations, I was looking to do something slightly different. I'm not moving away from the interview process. I'm just doing something slightly different. I am starting a 12-week series. So starting next week with episode 332, I'm going to do 12 interviews about momentum. How did the woman solopreneur, the woman founder, the woman business owner that I'm talking to, how did she find momentum within her business? How did she know that momentum had happened? And where did that momentum take her? I'm going to ask the same series of questions to all 12 of the guests. So every week there's going to be a different guest, but they're going to be asked the same questions. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit about their business and other things. It won't just be about momentum, but for the most part, we will be discussing how momentum affected their business. And I predict, based on my own chatting with women business owners and my own experience, that every single story will be different, but there will be common threads. And so my plan is, after all 12 of those interviews happen, I will come back for another solo episode and debrief what we learned from the 12 women that share their momentum story. So I'm really excited about this. I've never done anything like that on the show. And if it goes really, really well, then fourth quarter, so October, November, December, I'll do it again with a different theme, probably a theme about legacy. So that should be fun. And I hope that you guys enjoy the stories about momentum that happen over the next 12 weeks. And I hope that you give me feedback on what you think of those stories. I'm really looking forward to learning from these women and then hearing how their stories have affected you or what you've learned from them. So we have some other news to share. I'm about to give you a whole list of events and opportunities and links. And rather than giving you the links one at a time, they'll all be in the show notes below. So if you're watching on YouTube, they'll be in the YouTube description. But if you're listening in your car right now, just go to KandasRodarte.com and search for 331, and you'll get all the links to everything I'm about to share. So first of all, huge announcement. I'm super excited. I just got word from the Marketing Podcast Network Awards that out of over 100 submissions, Gratitude Geek is a finalist for the People's Choice Award. So I'm so tickled. I can't wait. The awards ceremony will be at the end of June. It'll be broadcast live. You can register to attend the live announcements. I'm so tickled pink and honored that my show made it out of over 100 submissions to the finalists. So yay, Gratitude Geek. And that this is an interview show. I can't take credit for everything because I collaborate and co-create every single episode with a guest. But still, I put in a lot of hard work and a lot of years growing this show, and it would be it would be absolutely thrilling to win the People's Choice Award. That it's just as thrilling to know that I made the final slate of nominees. So thank you. All right. Something I started a couple of months ago that I may or may not have mentioned on the show enough, probably not enough, is the Creator Collab Mixer. Currently, they happen on the fourth Wednesday of every month at 2 p.m. Eastern. This is a mixer for women creatives. So we're talking podcasters, bloggers, vloggers, newsletter writers, any type of content creator, or authors, people who are intentional about wanting to collaborate with other creators. So you come to the mixer, you meet other women who are in the, may or may not be in a similar space, and you figure out ways that you can collaborate and co-create with each other. I'm super excited about where this mixer is going to create opportunities for women to create amazing things. I'm so thrilled. And if you have attended one of the mixers, if you're one of the 50 plus women who's attended one of the mixers so far, thank you. It's a true testament to the network that I had built over the years to see the number of women who just showed up because they wanted to see what I was doing. So if you haven't been to one yet, please register. It's at kandasrodarte.com/mixer. Please register. You'll get the monthly reminders and come to the next one with the intention of meeting groovy women and figuring out how you and the other women in the room can create something together. So that's the Creator Collab Mixer. And then I also want to tell you about my friend Amy. Everybody should have a podcast BFF. My podcasting BFF is Amy Stone, the host of The Art of Imperfect Adulting. She has a new project that she has birthed called the Unmuted Creator Collective. She has a directory. She has an interview style show, and then she also has a panel style show, which is live broadcast. I've been on several of her panel discussions, and they are designed for creators. Again, the same type of creators that are invited to the Creator Collab Mixer: podcasters, bloggers, vloggers, newsletter writers, anybody creating content, any women creating content out there in the world. And those are just some of the ways you can create content. There's others too. Substackers, Medium writers, if you make shorts. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can create and share your genius with the world at this time. There's more than I can think of off the top of my head, right? So she's created this collective, and it's really exciting to see it unfold because I've known about it for quite some time, because again, Amy is my podcasting BFF. We share things with each other months before we implement them. And one of the reasons why I started the mixer was because I wanted a really super simple place where people could come and learn about the collective, and they can plug themselves into what she's doing over there, which I am involved in. So, it's not like I'm just handing off people to her. I am involved in what she's doing over at the collective. So it's really fun. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of all 4 of those opportunities, and the Gratitude Geek Podcast too, if you're a business owner. So there's 5 opportunities right there for you as a woman business owner or a woman creative to learn from other creatives. All right. Other exciting news. I was recently a guest on the Make Your Passion Play podcast hosted by Luann Beekler, where I talked about my gratitude as a business strategy framework. And that kind of goes hand in hand with a huge announcement. Google AI has now recognized Kandas Rodarte, yours truly, as a premier authority on gratitude as a business strategy for solopreneurs. So that's super exciting, because I have been working on that for 15 years now that I've been working on this, on creating big business ideas for solopreneurs. I mean, I think my husband and I created a very successful business together, but we never grew beyond 6 people because we intentionally wanted to keep it a small business. And I know that there are millions and millions of business owners in the United States, because I talk to them all the time, who do not want to scale to a Fortune 500. They want to stay where they are or a little bit bigger. But you still need to feed your family, keep a roof over your head, keep the lights on. So small businesses need to operate like big businesses, just at a smaller scale, and that is what I have been. That's the message and the frameworks that I have been sharing for at least 15 years now. So it's really nice that Google has has agreed with me that I am an authority on that whole gratitude as a business strategy framework. Okay, so speaking of gratitude as a business strategy, if you do not know this already and you are not already a member, there is a free community for Gratitude Geek listeners called the Gratitude Geek Lab. It is a women-only community because women tend to be more creative and more open and more vocal when there are only other women in the room. So I am keeping it a women-only group. Plus my message is for women. Men can learn from what I have to share, but really what I have done over the course of my how old am I? 30 plus year career in sales and marketing is I have taken the thought process of the male bro marketing world and I've turned it upside down so that it's more attractive and more conducive to the way that women think and do business. So the Gratitude Geek Lab is a women only free community. And inside the community, we have weekly programming. The most popular is our Monday co-working sessions. The turnout is usually really good for Monday co-working. They happen at noon Eastern time. It's 90 minutes and we do it Pomodoro style. So we do 25 minutes of work, we take a 5-minute break, then we come back, do 25 minutes more of work, 5-minute break, last 25 minutes, and then we all share what we accomplished in our 90 minutes together. And it's a lot of fun and we get a lot done. And there's community and accountability for co-working. And then we have a book club on the first Thursday of every month. We just finished reading We Are All Weird by Seth Godin. And I actually read it twice before book club because it made a huge impact on me. And I have a feeling that I will be talking about this book for the next year. It was written in 2011, so it's pretty old, but the concepts in this book are, well, exactly what I've always been saying. Marketing to the mass, there are over 3 million podcasts right now. Every single podcaster has a different message. We are not all the same. There are 3 million podcasters giving 3 million different opinions on 3 million different topics. Their mass no longer exists. We are all weird. And the trick for marketers now is finding your unique weird and then all the other people who align with your weirdness. I highly recommend this book. Anyway, that's book club, which is my second favorite thing that we do in the lab. And then we have about once a month or so, we have a guest come in and do a training. And the next one is July 9th. Kelsey Green is going to come in and do a class on practical digital minimalism, which is a way to detox from the negativity of being online all the time. Kandas says, as she is recording a podcast that will be distributed online across dozens of different platforms, including YouTube. So, but there is balance. You can have a balance. You don't need to be online 24 hours a day. You don't need to be online while you're eating dinner with your family. You don't need to be online when you're at the park watching your kids play. You don't need to be online when you're in a coffee shop with a friend. You can be present with your friends. So Practical Digital Minimalism, Kelsey Green, July 9th, 2:00 Eastern. And that registration link will be in the notes below. Okay, and then we have some members-only events. So the Digital Minimalism workshop is open to anybody. It's a public event. But within the lab, we have some other stuff going on. So in the lab, about a decade or so ago, I created a framework called the Marketing Colander, which is how to use gratitude and appreciation. How do I explain it? So your colander, because I don't like the term sales funnel. I've never liked the term sales funnel. My friend Robbie Samuels, he says that cows get funneled to their death. And I just, that concept just makes the whole idea of a funnel not feel good for me. And as somebody who uses gratitude as a business strategy, I just don't think a funnel is conducive to gratitude and appreciation. So I use a colander as my marketing vessel. And in that colander goes all of the leads. And then I begin to rinse those leads with my messaging, with my blog posts, my podcast episodes, my videos. I begin to rinse the people in that colander. And the folks that are not good fits for my message, they get rinsed away. And the folks that stay in the colander, those are my perfect fit audience. And so I teach that framework within the lab in all sorts of different ways. Right now, for the month of July, we will be focusing on using podcast guesting as a visibility tool. And so in July, I'll be teaching things like how to create your podcast guest one sheet, how to find podcast guest opportunities, and you're really focusing on workshopping, roll up your sleeves kind of stuff where everybody who attends will have pitched themselves to at least 2 podcasts and booked at least 1 appearance on an upcoming show by the end of July. So that's my goal there. So that's what's going on inside the lab. And I believe that I have covered everything on my to-do list. I do want to practice what I preach and have a moment of gratitude myself. So right now, there are 2 people that I'm extremely grateful for. One of them I've already called out. It's Amy Stone. This is my moment of gratitude. For whom and what am I most grateful? So the 2 people I'm most grateful for right now are Amy Stone, my podcast BFF, who is the person that I throw my wild ideas at, and then she gives me an honest response. And I have thrown some wild ideas at her that have not panned out after her feedback. And I've thrown some wild ideas at her that I immediately implemented because she said they were great ideas. One of those ideas was the Creator Collab Mixer. And then the other person I'm extremely grateful for right now, because the whole month of June, I was basically out of sorts. And my husband is my rock, and he took care of me. He made sure I went to the doctor when I needed to go to the doctor. When I fell flat on my face, I literally fell down flat on my face. He was like, make a doctor appointment. So I appreciate him for picking up all the slack when I couldn't do anything. I don't know, the last time I felt this bad was when I was having the chemo that kills you. So yeah, not a good, this strain of COVID is not one that I want you to get. So please do not. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, right? All that common sense stuff is still true. All right, so that's a wrap on this very short, abbreviated episode of Gratitude Geek, the podcast for Gen X women solopreneurs, weaving appreciation and gratitude into your business strategy. This is episode 331. All of the links to everything that I discussed are in the show notes. Our theme music is by Rev Brock and So Lily. I've been your host, Kandas Rodarte. Stay groovy, my friends.